That is a commercial for the new live stream that I'll be doing, sponsored by Ecamm. Sponsored by Ecamm. Um, Put together by Ecamm, called "Play in the Back of the Room," where I will be talking comedy with many people, like my guest today, but wide variety of people in the world of comedy. It's going to be called "Play in the Back of the Room," where we get into the weeds, the nuts and bolts of comedy and how comedy is made. I'll be talking more about it. Be seeing more commercials, all that stuff. Anyway, um, my friends are here today with me, Horatio and
Hello,
Michael.
hello, hello.
Oi,
Oi,
what's
oi.
up, fellas?
How's it
A lot
going?
of coffee. Delaney, how's my sound, baby?
Yeah, you know what? Your sound's pretty good. I can hear the spoon clanking against the side of that mug.
Perfect. Perfect. Here we go.
Uh huh.
Um, I had to go. I had to go to my car and get my special old timey headphones. These are
You
these are
sound
for
great.
when I forget my pods and I go to the dog park.
Mm-hmm.
I still have
Mm-hmm.
some sound. So what's going on this week?
Nothing much. Back to normal, I think. Well, back to normal, whatever. I mean, as far as private life goes, um,
Well, listen, this is one of our. We're going to have an audience for this one.
a little
Mm-hmm.
bit, yeah.
Well,
They go back and
I was
forth.
Five
talking to
people.
Horatio before. Horatio's still having a little bit of an emotional hangover from the SNL 50th get together,
Yeah, he was telling
or
me that.
maybe a
Yeah,
literal hangover.
right.
Yeah, I
A
mean, it
little of
was
both.
everybody was on their in their best place somehow. You know, I think everybody was worried. I think everybody was anxious, and then everybody was relieved when they got there
Mm-hmm.
I had
immediately.
I had like a 2 week like experience of all this stuff because that was just in the middle of like I had a reunion show with the Mr. Show people the week before we went to New York. Then we did that, and then I went to the SAG Awards right after that, right after we got back from the SNL 50. So I was like, just seeing people that I haven't seen in years. you know,
Mm-hmm.
I felt
Amazing.
like I was a human being again, and it kind of like brought back what COVID did for me because I moved away from LA from COVID, and just for me that just decimated all my like hanging out. Horatio, you moved, and you were pretty much
Yeah.
Yeah,
during COVID. You were pretty much the only person that I saw face to face. My only friend.
yeah,
I didn't see anybody else and hanging with anybody. We weren't obviously people weren't spreading. uh, so
yeah,
for
yeah.
me, it was just like
Yeah,
getting
me
back to
too.
Not.
normal.
I actually lived at Roger's house for a few months, several months during COVID, and he actually got it. It almost came and went before we found out he had it.
What do you mean?
You got COVID and we didn't notice. We were just carrying on with our lives.
Well,
And finally,
but
Yeah,
Kathleen came
and
over to
then
the
I
house
got
and
it
said, "Maybe
again.
you
But
should get
I must
tested."
have. I did get it post. You know, I thought like someone made a joke. I think it was Baragazzi, Baragazzi, about how everybody during COVID, everyone was like, "Oh, I had it already. I had it like a month ago." You know, everybody was
yeah.
Uh
saying
huh.
that.
Uh
That's
huh.
kind of, and I think I did the exact same thing. So maybe then I got COVID, and it was similar, and it was actually wasn't as bad. So I don't know. Who knows? But here we are, alive, post COVID.
Yeah, we
Post
made it
COVID,
through.
none of us got it in New York, which was good. Um, I mean, Michael, you live there, but um, I was talking
I
to a
got
lot of
it.
people at the SAG Awards because no, well,
Oh, you mean last week?
I mean last in the last month, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
people couldn't show up at the SAG Awards because they got it at in New York at SNL.
Yeah,
Um,
Oh,
but then I was talking to people. I was talking.
There was a lot of hugging and kissing. You know, what are you gonna do?
There was, but then I was talking to a lot of people, and I guess it kind of seemed like it stayed in a tight circle because all the people that I saw They were like, yeah, I didn't get it either, and I hugged all those people.
So
Yeah,
who got it?
Well,
But you don't
Martin
know
Martin
Short,
Short.
just because you're around it.
Martin
Oh,
Short got
Martin
it,
Short had it.
and Maya
Okay.
Rudolph got it, and
Uh,
Yeah.
Steve Martin got it, because that's
Well,
his friend.
you know
They're
who
all
didn't get it? You know who didn't get it? Me and Paul McCartney.
McCartney did
Thank you
not
very
get
much, everybody.
it.
they shared a
Because
joint
I passed
together. Raj
McCartney,
was-
I shared it. I passed the dote sheet to McCartney.
Yeah, you were saying it like
And
everybody's passing weed and people didn't get it. So, there you go.
it was beautiful, beautiful moment. And then later
you
he
know,
was like, "This one's trouble," because he, joking like, "Because I got him eye," So he's telling his assistant, "This one you gotta watch out."
look out for this one.
So that was very cool. And then just all the best after that. What a great night. And I was telling Mike, I sounded like Sammy Maudlin. It was a beautiful night.
I'm gonna have
Dude,
your
it was a
children.
beautiful night. And I told
That
I did tell
laughing.
Catherine O'Hara that I loved Lola Heatherton, which I think that's who you're talking about. You're doing.
I am. I'm gonna have your children. Somebody should show
wanna
So I was
Tracy that.
gushing to her about that. I was gushing to her about SCTV, and then she's like, and then we talked about being from Second City. So suddenly, I got Second City pride,
Mhm.
where I haven't really, I haven't thought about it for a while. And I'm like, all of a sudden, yeah, that was like a fraternity, of course. We had just a bunch of. I was at my best. I was at my best, Sammy Maudlin. Being peace and love.
Uh-huh.
I was
Yeah.
just. I was watching the. I'm not gonna show it because I keep getting banned or whatever because I show something. I don't know what.
Shit.
Yeah, I don't know what I can show.
Uh,
I was watching not Sanford and Son, but the Sanford episode with Sammy Davis Jr., which I didn't remember at all. I don't remember Sammy
Wait,
being
you said Sanford,
It was the
not
Sanford,
Sanford and Son.
yeah, the Sanford,
The
the
show.
second show, like the Sanford
so what
Arms.
happened? Did Lamont
with the
not want to
fat
come
biker.
back, and they just kept going?
Lamont did not want to work again. So the whole premise
Well,
was
Fred
that he
was out of
moved.
control. Fred was a wild man. He was like Rodney Dangerfield, one of those guys.
Oh,
Just
crazier
doing
than
blow
that,
all the
yeah.
time and crazy.
His name is Red, Mike. Red, not
What did I
His
say?
real name
not
was Fred.
Fred.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're kind of interchangeable. Um,
Red Fox,
yeah, of
the
course.
great Red
Not
Fox.
Fred Fox. Yeah, I love Fred Fox. I'm a huge Fred Fox fan. I don't know.
Delaney, come on, man.
I was wondering,
It's
Gary,
just
do you know how
you got
they
to get
wrote
your facts
Lamont out of the
together now
show?
that we have an audience of 10.
Hey, good
Um,
audience. Did they bother to write Lamont out of the show, or did it just come back
They
like
did.
nothing ever happened?
They wrote him out. He had
What I think,
his.
what I think didn't Lamont have a coke problem?
No, well, he did back then, but now if you talk to him, it was all it was the liberals trying to. It was a plot.
Yeah, the industry,
The plot
the
of
gay-
the liberal
the
industry.
gay Jew
Yeah.
mafia, in Hollywood.
Oh, they tried to draw him into the Hollywood lifestyle.
Yeah.
What I
Yeah.
really think is he probably said, I want whatever Fred's getting, and they're like,
Yeah.
get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. We don't need
Like,
you.
wait, get the hell out of here. You're not Red Fox. And so then
So he.
It's not Lamont and Dad.
he was like, fine, I don't care. I don't want to work anyway. I got my residuals or whatever.
Well, he was doing another show too. He was doing like it might have been a little bit after that, but he had done he did I forgot what that show was called. But he did a show about like a divorced couple, and then he did a show with Ron Glass, where he was Oscar. They did the
Oscar
Odd Couple,
Madison.
they did the new Odd Couple. So he
They did
had
what?
work. I'm sure he was just like, I don't need to do it either, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like he was on the same network because Sanford was on ABC, so he's probably like, see you over there, you know. Back
Hey,
then,
what
he
was
probably
it?
felt like he was.
How'd they write him out?
He went to work
He
on
moved
the
to
Alaskan
Alaska or
pipeline.
something.
He went to work on the Alaskan
Yeah.
pipeline.
They sent him to Alaska.
Yeah. So he's not coming back. You're not gonna see him. He's too far away to fucking pop up. You
That's
know.
what they do. That's what they do with the colonel
Ma-
at the end of Stripes. They send him off to Alaska.
So you're not coming back.
The
China?
spinning newspaper.
What? Well, good luck. Good luck in China. Guess we'll never
Wait, where
see
did-
each other.
China.
Where did James go? In Good Times, he did. He went to. I
went
think
to-
he went
he
to
went to
Alaska
Dirt Nap.
too.
Oh, he went to Dirt Nap Land. He died.
Well, he died. Rest in peace. He died
He went to-
this year, apparently.
He went to the underworld.
Who
That's really not coming
John
back.
Amos. John Amos.
Oh.
Yeah,
But
that's
before
that
he
was
died, he went away to work somewhere, right?
yes. That was when he was having. So when I think he was having a contract dispute, right? They
Yeah.
just wrote him off the show and said, "Oh, he's working. Yeah, he's working out of town." And then he didn't come back. They were like, "Well, it's not gonna work out." And then so they killed
He died.
him. Yeah,
So
yeah,
so he died working on the Alaskan pipeline with Lamont.
yeah.
Maybe.
So that's what characters ended up.
Could have been the same
If
explosion.
anyone knows, yeah, I should
wanna
look it up, but whatever.
I want to see this too. Like the Alaskan pipeline was a big deal back then. So, you know, it was like,
Yeah.
we got this pipeline coming. We're gonna get all this oil, and they just put it into the plot of the show of like,
Yeah,
They
everybody had to
killed,
go to Alaska to get jobs all of a sudden.
They should have sent
So,
Edith
it
to
must have
Alaska,
been-
but they killed her. Edith Bunker.
It must have been the evil corporations that were like forcing NBC to put references to work at the Alaskan pipeline. So,
Oh, you
that's how
think
they
so?
got-
You think there's a connection?
so they got hundreds and thousands of people to go to the Alaskan pipeline to get to work because of Sanford and Son.
Shell Oil was just putting a couple of bucks in Red Fox's pocket.
Oh yeah, and then Lamont was like, "What the fuck? Shell Corporation's gonna pay him. No one's paying me." Like, come on,
Just
man.
let me wet
Take it
my
easy.
beak.
We got a hit show on our hands. Let's not blow it.
Red Fox is going off on tangents. You know, with today's economy, the Shell Corporation is only looking out for people's best interests. That's why.
Man, you don't even know what you're talking about, Red.
Oh, shoot, man!
Come on, Pop.
in over
Those
42
corporations are some of the
states.
Those corporations are the richest companies in
It's
the
good
world.
work.
Huh?
It's good work. You get benefits. Sure, you know they give you some housing too. Come on, Pop.
With domestic oil production is only making America stronger.
Well, I agree with you about that. And then they hug it out.
Big dummy.
Just do it. Just do it. All right. Break a leg. The executive hangs up the phone after forcing them to put that in the show.
Okay. Here's a comment. Hello. I've reached out to you previously with Flint Academy with no response. That's the high school I went to. I'm not sure. I'm sorry, Sherry. I'm not on Facebook like that. I'm only on just a broadcast. I don't do any kind of social media at all. So if I don't answer I haven't answered anybody, I don't do it. But see, not sure if you more on the Terry Crews tip or maybe you don't see the message. No, you can keep bothering me. I don't get to Flint that often.
Did you go to school with Terry Crews?
I did. Yeah, we went to high school together. And he's probably
Oh
not
wow.
he's probably not answering you. Hey Sherry, he don't answer my calls either. So
Well, I worked on a television show with him, so perhaps I can get a hold of him.
yeah, I got his number in here somewhere. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's as far as like doing the reunions or something like that. I just haven't been able to get back to any high school reunions. I wish I could. I just don't make it back to Michigan that much. And when I do, I just see my parents and I'm out. And none of them are in Flint anymore. That's the other hard thing. All of my relatives are like in Michigan are all in different areas, like in Detroit or like nobody lives in Flint anymore. Even my parents, they're not in Flint. So that's the story with that. But nice to hear from you.
It's hard to have a nice glass of water, so you're like, I get fed up.
Speaking of water, how is Flint doing these days?
I mean, it's the same, for a while, I could have, like 20 years ago, I could have tracked not just the water, but just all of the deterioration that's going on in that city. And it seems to be kind of like maybe bottom, that all the people that were there have moved. So it still struggles, but as far as the water is concerned, I mean, obviously they changed the water source. They're not getting it from the nasty ass Flint River anymore. So that, but as far as like changing the pipes and all that stuff, I don't know. It's not, the water doesn't test bad anymore.
But is the
As far as that
town
goes.
they've had better days, or they're doing all right?
Oh yeah, no,
Voy a ir a la pieza.
the town itself
Voy a ir a la pieza.
is depressed, and yeah, I don't know if that's ever gonna come back to. Well, I'm sure it'll never come back to what it was, like the population and stuff. But it's stable. It's not going down any further. But I don't know how it could go down any further. You know what I mean?
I think Roger's making a margarita. I
Yeah,
heard the sound of
think
a
so.
blender. I think he's chopping limes. I thought I heard someone mention a mango.
I'm looking for the lime, and it's fucking annoying because I have
Also-
so much citrus. I have
And
8
he's got
shelves
a
of
great-
citrus.
He's got a great fresh coconut. He can't buy shredded coconut from the supermarket.
All right.
He likes to sprinkle it on top. So until margarita done, podcast.
I gotta stop
on.
giggling. People hate when I
Pause.
giggle like this, but I don't know what the hell he's doing.
All right, here.
It's
Oh,
one,
he's
of,
moving.
it's one of those EVAs. It's the extravehicular.
I had to
activity.
move
He's
because
helping the camera. Stop fucking the camera.
Oh, he got moved.
Oh, he got moved.
He got kicked out of the garage.
I did.
Lunar spunk. I don't know what that means. Like moon sperm. But I love
Lunar
you.
Spunk wants to know if you're humping the camera.
He wants to know if you're up to the camera.
Well, you know what happens
I'm
when
back.
you hump the camera. You know what happens when you hump the camera on the moon? You get lunar spunk. That's what comes out.
That comes out of the pee-pee?
That's what they call it. If
Mr.
you're on the
Moon
moon
Spam.
doing your
Hold on.
business, they call it lunar spunk. I gotta get a lunar spunk in the back. Sorry, I didn't mean to make fun of your handle.
I mean, well, if you have a handle like that, it's meant to be made fun of, right?
I guess so. But you know, spunk is spunkiness.
It could be. That's right.
Not that other stuff.
America can,
We will blow up the
should,
moon.
and must blow up the moon. I love that. I love that sketch too. The best part of that is the monkey. The monkey saying why? What? The monkey saying why he blew up the moon. Stop, everybody. Oh, you dumb monkey. What do you know? Stupid ass monkey.
Dumb monkey.
The country star. What do you know, stupid old monkey? Don't mess with God's America.
All right, Roger, did you change that tire? You got it fixed?
Oh yeah, we changed the tire.
Just blown
Wow,
it
we
up
gotta.
now.
I gotta bring. You know what? That sketch is worth showing again. That blowing up the moon, because that's exactly what's going on right now. We're gonna blow up the moon.
Yeah, yeah.
Blow that
We
motherfucker up.
can and we must.
When I
We must.
first when
Everything's
I first
blown
saw
up.
that sketch, I jumped up in the air like excited and how good it was. I was
Right,
like,
should we
oh my
all-
fucking god!
So prophetic.
And,
'Cause I
and
mean-
that's the callback. That callback is just so fucking good. I mean, it's just one of the best sketches ever.
Right, all right. At the end of the show.
And the banana
Hey,
makes
no.
no sense in the beginning. They don't even try to justify the banana in the beginning. They're just like, woo! But
It's banana.
still the callback lands.
Well, I mean, it was just so. Anyway, that's
I
part
mean,
of
and
this
also-
podcast. We gush about great comedy that we love.
do.
I try not to gush too much.
And I'll explain it since it's on. I mean, you can watch it on HBO, and give me more residuals. But the
Oh, that's good. That's a good tip. I might have to rewatch those.
yeah, they're on HBO.
Well,
And I think Lucky
Milo's
Louie's
on a-
back on HBO too. I think.
Oh yeah,
I thought it was.
that's a deep.
I would
cut.
like. I
remember
would be
Lucky
interested in
Louie.
watching that David Lynch episodes. Didn't he do a couple episodes?
That's
That was-
the later.
that was
that's
Louis.
Louis.
That was Louie. Yeah. Yeah, that was when he.
Oh, I thought we were talking about Louis. I'm sorry, I misheard.
Lucky.
Oh, Lucky Louie, the show
it
I was
probably
on.
One or two series is before that.
Oh, Lucky Louie too. That's awesome. Lucky Louie
Yeah.
as well.
No, Lucky Louie. I don't think they're showing Louie. I think they might be showing Lucky Louie, or it might just be foreign. They're showing it somewhere because I still get some residual checks from it. So somebody.
I mean,
showing it.
That show was really well done, man. It's too bad that all this shit kind of ended it, but
I know.
he's fine.
That was
Yeah, what do you
FX's
say about
number one
art?
show.
Yeah, you say about art that gets controversial. It's like, does it really affect the art? You know, there's some things where I'm like, I don't care that the art is still good, and there's some things where I'm like, I can't listen to that no more. I can't watch that anymore. The person that did it just fucked me up too much. You know, it
Yeah.
just depends. You know, there's
Yeah,
some things that I don't even think about. I don't even consider it. You
Like
know,
with-
it's just like,
With Woody Allen, I just can't believe that he molested a baby. But I just can't believe that. But you know, Alec Baldwin is a very smart guy. He seems to think that it's not real, but you gotta believe the victims. Yeah. But I don't know. It doesn't. I mean, I love his films, and you know, I guess.
Yeah, right?
I
I mean,
really
and what do you-
watched them? But
what do you say about the
I have
films?
fond memories of taking that in, that energy, that learning, that comedy skill that you're absorbing. You know,
Right.
it's in your blood. So how do you go? Oh no, like Crimes and Misdemeanors. Fucking brilliant movie. It's fucking
Or-
brilliant.
Or do I not like Michael Jackson when he was a little kid? You know, like he was a little kid then. You know, I mean, he didn't write those songs. So do I not like Jackson 5? Because
And he was being
what he was later?
tortured.
He's well,
He's being
there's that.
tortured
It is
to
a-
be performing.
There's that
By
too.
his father. Yeah.
Yeah. So
There's
that's,
that
you know,
too. It's like,
that beautiful music was being made under duress. I'm sure.
I mean, and we
Michael
know
was
that the
always
Beach
the
Boys
leader.
like best album, and we can hear the torture that they were going through making that fucking record. You can hear it.
Oh, the Beach Boys.
Yeah.
Oh, the dad abusing them in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah. On the outtakes.
I mean, you can directly hear the torture that it took to make that record. Directly, not even like conjecture. Like, you know, I heard that, you know, yeah, Michael Jackson's dad. You know, not even that. You hear it. You can hear it. Come on, boys, sing with your hearts. That's not good enough. Best album, one of the best albums ever. Come on,
That's
guys,
still
you
less
can
than
do
any
better.
football team. Less than any football team anywhere. What the Beach Boys went through.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
I
There's
guess there can be a
there's some
gentleman
nuts.
out there somewhere.
He had emotional problems too, so that's they probably started from being pressured as a kid. In a way, those two are like those two have a similar upbringing, Michael Jackson and Brian Wilson.
Well, I thought it was curious that Michael Jackson was the leader of the band from the time he was like 4. He was the front, even though there was all these
The
other
front man.
Jacksons. When you lined them up according to height, Michael was the smallest and the youngest, but yet he was definitely he was the guy. Everybody knew he was the guy.
Crazy. Yep. Well, obviously.
And then if you watch,
you see the.
and then if you watch that
results.
Smile documentary, and you see Brian Wilson putting together the Smile, I mean, it's just wonderful madness. It's just wonderful madness all around.
He was flipping out because Paul McCartney was in the audience, and he couldn't hack it. He was like, "Oh no, he better like it."
That was a story. There's that story that Paul McCartney went to Brian Wilson's house and like knocked on the door, and he wanted to tell him how good.
Go away.
This is probably bullshit.
Go away.
Really? Paul went for
But
the knock.
He's like, I go in there, and I knock on the door, because that's what you do. Knockety knockety knock. No one's answering. I hear somebody crying. There's someone's crying on the other side of the door. So I keep knocking, and I'm like, Brian, let me in, And after 20 minutes, I said, fuck it, and I left, And then Brian Wilson's like, yeah, he was right outside the door, and I couldn't, it was Paul McCartney, but what if he didn't like it? And so there's like that story of
why would
of Paul McCartney going to
knockety knock, knock knock. Brian didn't care for your last album. Why would he knock on the door to tell him how much he didn't like it?
Yeah, I heard Pet Sounds is shite, and it was after Brian. Pet Sounds, and then Brian Wilson when they did. I think they all heard Sgt. Pepper, and he was like, "Oh my God, this is what it is. This is what it should be." And was so blown away that when he couldn't take a visit from Paul McCartney, he's too ashamed or something. I don't know.
Wait, I thought
too
Pet
overwhelming.
Sounds came
too
first.
overwhelmed.
Pet Sounds came first, didn't it?
I don't think so.
I thought Paul heard
but
Pet
I
Sounds.
think Paul had heard Pet Sounds, so it's post.
It's
then it
post. Had to have come first. Oh, it was post.
Yeah, or these are all legend stories, so I don't know how true it is, but it's it's possible he could have heard a pre thing. I think they were both on the same record label in America.
Oh yeah.
But in any case, yeah, Paul McCartney was going to say how great it was, but he didn't let him in. So
I don't think it's unusual that you smoke.
I want to say how great you are. Go away. But I want to compliment you. Go away. All right, man. Huh? Don't come back. Oh shit.
There's no reason. Listen, there's no reason to be crying about it. I like some of the songs very much.
Oh man.
That's how he cries.
Come on now.
Leonard Smock says,
and then
mouthful of sores.
I think you can make fun of people's face issues when they're on a bunch of drugs. Then it's okay. You can make fun of them.
Oh, because they done it to themselves?
Yeah. That's the rule of that comedy.
Once Johnny Spanish rounded up a bunch of us to go see Brian Wilson at Jones Beach. He was going to play Pet Sounds all the way through its entirety. He had this great band. And they opened the show with that song Lying in Bed like Brian Wilson did. I thought that was pretty ballsy of him to open his own show that way, making fun of his own self, taking to his bed like Stuart Smalley. for
Yeah.
months on end, eh?
Yeah, I never got out
It's
of
like-
bed.
I never. Yeah.
That's how it was.
I,
That's how it was for real. So I was like, okay, well, let's learn it.
he had a stool and he introduced all his songs, and one of them he goes, he did some long intros, some not so long, and then finally he introduces the song Pet Sounds, and he goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, this next sound doesn't have words." And he just turns his back, and then when it's over, he comes back and goes, "Wasn't that pretty?"
So, what was? I'm looking at Mouthful of Sores now. The Song Awards.
Wait, the mouthful of sores turns into the guy getting a award through the chest.
Yeah, yeah. It turns into. It makes fun of that Brian Wilson, and then the guy gets on his chest, and then it makes fun of what's his face making a tragedy song out of tragedy.
Oh.
Eric Clapton.
Eric Clapton. Yeah,
Oh shit.
yeah.
I was like, this is a rough one. I'm like, this is a
The tears
real-
from the tears.
Oh,
real
they
tears
blast
from
left
from a
their tears
shotgun.
in heaven. I gotta
Yeah.
rewatch those Mr. Shows, baby.
Yeah. Well, they're on HBO apparently, so go to get your Max app.
Well, I got my son to watch all the Monty Pythons. You know, we watched them pretty much in order, and then I started in on the Mr.
Where'd you
Shows.
get those?
But then the first sketch has got like Odenkirk as a priest sticking shit up his ass, getting guilted into sticking shit up his ass. It's a bad start for Milo because he's recently saved. So I think we're gonna have to lay down the Mr. Show for next
Was it
season.
was it the porn thing?
Too much filth.
The family porn business. Ma,
We didn't
you
get
put
that far.
lactating
No.
mamas next to the.
Oh, that's a good one. The Ma and Pa porn shop.
Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah, let's see.
Keep it down. People are trying to masturbate. Yeah, and the kid was the.
What a great
the,
idea.
the kid was the rebel. I don't want to do this anymore. Lactating mamas paid for your college.
Oh, that's a classic one. I got to show that to my.
We're the
sketch
double-sided dildos. You know.
So did I tell you that I've been working with can't think of his name now because I always say ass to ass. This is a great story. So Requiem in the Dream, right? There's the ass to ass scene.
I didn't know it.
You don't know it.
I don't know the
I'm
movie,
not
but
even-
okay.
I'm not even gonna go
Nope.
into it then. There's a double-sided dildo scene in
Okay,
it.
we get you. We're with you.
And everybody's and they're chanting. There's a group of businessmen chanting ass to ass.
Oh my god.
Ass
who-
to ass.
who are
ass
the
to
people?
Ass to ass.
Who are
Jennifer
the people
Connelly,
that have the?
Jennifer Connelly, and some other woman, but it's like they're forced to do some kind of sex show in front of a bunch of businessmen. It's like a terrible,
Yeah.
It's a terrible Darren Aronofsky scene.
Okay.
A humiliating scene, and then all the men are chanting "ass to ass," and they're all like, there's a close up of a man going "ass to ass." But
So cheap.
why can't I think of this guy's name, the actor's name? But he plays
Yeah, I can't imagine.
he plays a pimp in it. What is his name?
There's got to be a pimp.
Yeah, he's the one that gets them to do the ass to ass. Let me see.
And why is it imperative that we pursue
Keith-
this?
So Keith Keith David is the one that hooks the girl up. He's always like, "Oh, we'll get you to do something," but he never says ass to ass. And Keith David has that voice, right? So me and Brandon and Mark Dalbus, we would always say ass to ass in his voice. Ass to ass.
Yep.
Ass to ass. You ready for ass to ass? So whenever I see him, I say, "Oh, ass to ass." And I've been working with him for the last couple of weeks. Well, I can't tell him that story of like, "Hey, remember that scene when you played that pimp?"
Why don't you?
Sure you can.
I think he'd be delighted, probably.
I didn't say that shit. I didn't say ass to ass.
I
That was
hated
those
that
other assholes.
motherfucker. I'm a fucking Christian motherfucker.
You better watch out, Jerry Minor. You better watch your ass.
Enough of you.
I'm gonna get you, Jerry Minor.
Yeah.
I said I would not say ass to ass in my contract. You're playing a pimp. That's right. Just a terrible.
It's
What's his
a writer.
name?
He has
Keith
all
David?
his contracts.
What's his name? David Keith or Keith David?
It doesn't matter, does it? That's Keith David.
Honestly, it doesn't matter. I mean, people get the idea.
No, it's just a comma away from being correct, whatever you do.
Does he do We Got the Meats for Arby's?
No, that's man, I can't think of any actors' names, any black actors'
Drugs,
names.
the way you said it, it was kind of like the Go-Go's. Maybe next time they should use the Go-Go's for their next campaign. We got the meats. Like we got
That's a
the
great
beef.
idea.
It's just, that's the way you said it. It sounded very Go-Go. You sounded like Belinda Carlisle, the way you said it.
Yeah, you're gonna get that guy to lose his job, and they're gonna have the Go-Go's doing it now.
Or they could have him do it. We got the meats. Yeah.
Yeah, we got the meats.
We got the meat. Like I said in the song, we got the meats.
We got the meats. Join me as I tour the country with the Go-Go's. a bald black man and 4 white older women.
Look, Belinda doesn't want to go.
Middle-aged.
The other 4 Go-Go's want to go. It'd be great. You can go. You'll front the go. All the rest of the Go-Go's will be there. You'll be go.
What's the ass-to-ass situation?
The Go-Go's want to play ass to ass. I didn't want to tell you, but they insist on playing ass to ass.
Now I have talked to Darren. You were hanging around Darren Aronofsky, and I remember we were in a limo, Horatio, and I asked him about that movie, and I asked him why he. I was like, "Why'd you cast Marlon Wayans?" He was like, "Isn't he great?" And I was like, "No, should cast me."
Yeah, I was doing that shit. I met him at like the Harvard Club or something, because they had something where they let normal people in, and I did Aronofsky, and I'm like, I don't know that movie. I'm sorry. How are you?
I don't know what
you haven't seen the movie. Like, didn't he do 2 that were good? 2 in a row.
He had done Pie
and something else,
and Requiem for a Dream at that point. Yeah.
All right. So I didn't see either of them. So it was like just.
Which one was
pleasantly
Pie?
like
That's not the
annoying.
Wasn't the one with the boat and the tiger, was it?
No, Pie is about a Jewish. It's about math, but it's about a whatever you call it, Hasidic Jew.
Oh, okay. Who's a mathematician?
Yeah.
Love a math movie.
So I didn't watch him. So that's.
I got to see it.
So he was kind of a little annoyed, but also it was kind of like.
I remember
taking the piss.
I kind of remember that night of him being all mad, and it was kind of became a joke of like, "You mad because I didn't see your fucking movie?"
Yeah,
I didn't see it, dude. He's like, "Well, you should."
Yeah, I heard.
And then I told that guy from that movie. In any case, I was at a party and I honestly told somebody, yeah, that movie was bad. I was like, so stupid. Like I thought I was like, I'm like, this guy's gonna appreciate my honesty. I'm like, I did
They
not
never
like
do.
that. I didn't like it. The special effects were shitty. Like, and Jimmy's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, why are you saying that?
It was his movie,
I don't know.
and
I thought it
and
was
that was
his
the guy who
buddy.
made the movie. Oh,
It was
You
that guy
know,
that was in Scientology. Very nice guy. He did that.
oh
My
yeah,
name is Earl.
yeah. Who got out of it? And then yeah, and then
my name is Earl. Yes.
and he was
That so he did
in
that
the
movie where
documentary.
he did
Mm-hmm.
that movie about like hell on earth or something. God comes to earth. It's a mess. it's,
One of those. Yeah.
so I just didn't like it, and I thought, wow, this will be cool. I like this guy. We're getting along well. And I'm like, man, you know what? I just didn't like it, and it was like the next day. Jimmy's like, what were you thinking, man? I'm like, I don't know. I just thought I would be honest. I'm really sorry. Let me talk to him. So I hung out with him after that, but it was like wasn't the same after that dumb
Uh,
thing of telling somebody that I didn't like their movie. And I thought that I remember it now. It was a stupid ass thing to say, but I remember it as like you were great in it, and honestly, you're really good in everything. But this movie, it's like that's gonna cushion the blow. So that's the last time I did that. That's the last time I was ever honest in my life.
Dude,
That's
this
what
honestly
caused
though,
that.
I was
you
this
know
one
what the
director.
lesson is? Actors are delicate. They're all little, they got
Oh,
these little.
yeah.
We all got these egos, and we're little delicate flowers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't want anybody
especially
telling me that the thing that I was in was bad, even if I know it was bad. If I had a part
yeah.
in it, I don't want anybody saying that. Yeah, you were all right, but
I
that
mean,
thing sucked. I'm like, what? Come on, man.
Come on, man.
and then my favorite Italian restaurant in the neighborhood. This guy made these exquisite meatballs, and then you get the pasta.
You
And
made
one day
everybody
he
go to
was,
that meatball place. Raj brought
pardon me,
everyone to that meatball place. They had a meatball that was bigger than a softball. It was huge. Go on.
and then uh,
Sorry.
and then I wrote a sketch. I wrote a
Continue.
sketch where there were this mobster and this mob mall are just destroying things in a restaurant and just being super mobby. Get out of here! And so we start smashing all these things in the room. And then I remember one joke was um, I was gonna smash Jason Giambi, and they're like, no, 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 don't do Giambi or something like that because he's Italian. Really, really dumb scene. And I just thought, well, Lindsay Lohan in a mob outfit, me doing some generic mob thing, it'll be fine. It'll be fun. We'll be breaking things in the set, and somehow it got on the air, and the guy's like, that. Yeah, I didn't like that sketch, man.
You didn't like
That
it?
Italian one. What was that up? I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, what was that?
Who
Like,
says this?
it was the Italian guy that owned the meatball place.
Oh, he came at you.
Because
He
he
was
thought,
just like, yeah.
did he think that you were doing them, or did he just like, y'all don't like your depiction of Italians?
He didn't like the depiction of Italians.
Mm-hmm.
Because he doesn't understand that this is a layer upon a layer. It's like we're making fun of
We're making fun of the
Of-
fact that that this is a trope.
this is
right?
how they're portrayed in
Yes.
media.
Yeah, you're making fun
You
of the
know?
stereotype. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
the
all to
fucking
them. They're like, look
stereotype.
at this racist motherfucker. This racist motherfucker saying shit about Italians.
Right.
Like no.
I said, no, what I'm saying is everybody's trying to be Italian now, and it's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, we're getting pretty inundated with the mob thing, and it was a comment on that. So you have to take the time into account. So anyway, he badmouthed it, and I was like,
And did he say this while
you
he
know
was
what?
bringing you your meatball? Was it like, "Hey, Mr. Sands, here's your meatball"? By the
Well,
way,
Basically,
I don't like that
basically,
sketch.
yeah, because I remember
with
eating.
a little prop,
It might have been towards
popcorn
the
on
end.
it.
It might have been towards the end. So yeah, and then I just got really offended. I'm like, you know what? You don't ever do that to somebody. You don't say that you don't like their work. That's what I do for a living. If you don't understand it, that's one thing. But don't say that it's, I really fucking read on the riot act. And I never went back. And I
Why
never
would
went back.
you?
You can't.
People don't understand. I guess people don't really understand that of like, like you didn't in that one instance of like, I thought I was being honest. I thought that you'd want my opinion.
Yeah.
But this guy was too dumb to let it go. Like at first I was like, yeah, it's about stereotypes. And then he just kept coming at me with it. And I was like, yeah, it's dumb. It's stupid. I was like, all right, wait a minute.
Oh yeah, he persisted.
So I said, fuck this place. I almost got into a fight, not really, but there was that kind of like,
It's
No
usually that kind
how
of
meatball
dare
for
you?
you.
How
usually that
dare
kind of
you
usually that kind of shit.
enter
You
into my world?
only your family. You have to put up with that shit with your family because your family will be honest with you about stuff that they like.
Yeah.
I don't know if you, and I have
Oh
to put
yeah.
up with it. I don't like it then.
No,
I'll be
I,
like, shut the fuck
I've
up.
I've
Like I don't
heard
want to.
that I've heard that shit too from my brothers. Not my
Yeah.
both of them, but one of my brothers like, I didn't like that. I'm like, all right, great.
Yeah, and then you're
You
like, I
know,
don't like what you do. Like,
yeah.
I don't like
Put a
those.
camera on what the fuck you're doing. Let's see how many people like that.
Yeah, I don't like that car company you work for. It's stupid.
Yeah, I don't understand what you're doing.
Some people feel compelled to give notes to just go up to an artist or anybody, just start giving them
especially
notes.
especially entertainment, any kind of art, people have their own opinions about how it should be done. You should have done this. You should have done that. No, but I didn't. You should do that if you
Yeah.
want to do it. I did not do that. It should have been about this. Why'd you make it about that?
Here's a good one. When they go, I thought it was going to go this way. It's like, yeah, well, that's what you thought.
That's
It
what you
didn't go
thought.
that way.
Yeah.
It did not go that way.
I know. But I thought,
Well,
and then it didn't, so I'm disappointed.
like you didn't like it, so you're gonna go find the person and tell them like, no, it should have been this. The guy who created it.
What am I going to do about
Well,
that now?
I think you should change the ending of 2 of your books.
We used to have a sketch about that, Horatio. Horatio was an author, and I was a guy that thought that his book should have had more monkeys in it.
That's the premise. Jerry thought Roger's book should have had more monkeys in it.
The whole premise of the whole sketch. Like,
Yeah.
the book had the title. It had titles with monkeys in it. Why are there monkeys in the book? Because it would have been
Okay.
funny.
I could see getting hung up on that. But where was the monkey?
No
Well,
monkeys. You said monkeys. You got people expecting monkeys.
Yeah, I'm sure that
No
sketch
monkey.
had a good long life.
It
We had a
actually
sketch that we tried
it was like really funny.
at ETC where Jerry played. We did a song about freaks, and Jerry played the worm from
Oh my
that movie,
God.
The Freaks.
Yeah, you were the
That
human
guy that
worm?
rolled around.
Yeah,
the
he
human
rolled
worm?
cigarettes. He rolled
He
cigarettes.
He smoked cigarettes. He lit cigarettes without hands or legs. He was basically a sausage with a face,
So yeah, human
and
sausage.
his neck was articulated. So
Yeah, he was in the.
so I made a box, and Jerry was inside the box, and only his head was sticking out. And then I tried to attach this brown, I don't know, pantyhose or something. So it was like his body. It was a magic trick. You put the table, that's his face when he sings, and then you see like a blob of shit, and it's like his body. And it's like,
Wow.
there's always someone more fucked up than you.
Oh no.
That stayed in the show for a long time, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
There's
Yeah.
always someone more fucked up than you.
Great composition by me and Jeff.
We're all freaks.
Yeah,
They were all
Chris
freaks.
Schmidt and Raj
Amputees.
composed that one.
Yeah, like Miriam or somebody would come out with a beard. I don't know, like it was
Miriam,
Oh,
yeah,
so
Miriam
was
was
that
a bearded lady.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, so you guys did the full on freak show then.
Yeah,
Did the
yeah, we all
parade.
came out as like
Yeah.
different freaks. Yeah.
But that was like the first act closer. Was a
Wow.
song called "There's Always Someone More Fucked Up Than You," and there was freaks singing about it.
And it was, didn't you
Another
kind of make it
age.
kind of like a kind of a dirgy kind of what's that guy's name? Not
Tom
John
Waits.
Prine. John Waits, yeah. Tom Waits, yeah.
Tom Waits, yeah.
Tom
It was
Waits.
a Tom Waits
Let's say
style
John Prine,
song.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, right.
Tom Prine's another
Oh,
great
right.
writer.
Oh yeah, because you were saying all kinds of terrible things like my somebody got hit with a dropping. I remember that something got hit by something off an overpass. A brick dropped off an
Something
overpass.
through a windshield. I remember. That's funny. I don't remember that line, but I remember like I had to rhyme something, and it ended with. So it was basically I was telling stories about people and how fucked up they are,
That's right.
and then one of the stories ended with, "My uncle's got tits like Richard Speck's."
Yes, that's right. Right.
Because just before that, there was all this, it was on Geraldo and stuff that, oh my God, Richard Speck's got tits, and he's hoeing himself out to other jailmates, and so it was in the news. So I found a way to rhyme the ending, or it would be like, my uncle's got tits like Richard Speck's, and it's hard to make that sound right. So that was a problem, but
I do
I
this
thought-
for a living. Cut to the meatball house. I do this.
You don't criticize what somebody does. Now my uncle's
Yeah.
got tits like Richard Speck. What does that
I
rhyme?
think that's easy. You meatball.
Oh, Richard Speck.
Meatball.
Oh, I gotta find
So
some Richard Speck. That was
I'm
great.
from Chicago, and Second City always had to have a little Chicago bloodline going through it. So every show would have a little something about Chicago. I mean, that was my contribution, Richard Speck.
Now
Because-
remind us all who
Bill-
Richard Speck is.
Well, Bill
In
Curtis.
the '60s, he killed 8 nurses,
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
tied them up, and then one by one he killed them. And it was a huge thing in the '60s. I think 1968.
and then Bill.
There were
Bill,
nursing students in Chicago.
And then Bill Curtis, another Chicago native, did this great news report on him and when he was in prison, because he was like, here.
Maybe they'll flag you for this one.
I can show this because it's the news. Hold on.
So what do you do? Have hormones smuggled into the prison so he could modify himself?
He must have.
He
But it
must
was
have,
worse.
you know.
It was worse than that.
Could happen in Illinois' prison system. Bill Curtis will be the lead witness, and the video will be shown at the request of the committee.
And tonight, part 5 of Richard Speck Speaks. How could this man have murdered 8 innocent young women and with no apparent
Speck
reason?
speaks.
Look at young Lester Holt. Now he's retiring. Bye.
Tonight, Bill takes you inside the mind of a killer. Bill?
We've seen disgusting and outrageous things over the last 4 nights and raised a lot of questions. The legislature now wants to know how it could happen in an Illinois prison. Tonight, we want to know how it could happen at all. We've gone through the Speck video and edited some of his comments, which might shed some light on the mind of a killer.
Where was you born at, Richard?
Where was I born?
Yeah.
Kirkwood, Illinois.
When was you born?
December 6th, 1941.
That's my
Is it true that he was born a day before Pearl Harbor?
Right out of Fort, all hell broke loose next day. And stopped split.
Okay, let's get to the good part though. So he killed a bunch of nurses back in the '60s. He was in prison, and
Doesn't make
Bill
me
Curt-
feel any better that his birthday's the same day as mine, December 6th. Nice.
Do you got some sweet titties too?
More you spend on purpose.
Leave these alone.
You want a big show?
It's out of it.
Can you make Derek? There's a shot of the titties. Can you open up, make that bigger? You might get flagged.
Oh, it's a man.
Richard Speck's tits.
I think it's a man. I think it's all right.
I don't give a damn if throw me in the gutter.
What the hell?
And he was doing.
We don't need-
You don't see it, but he was doing like cocaine while they were interviewing him in the prison. So the big deal was like, how are they getting cocaine and shit like that in prison? Yeah, that was.
Yeah, our guy's getting titties in prison.
Yeah. On death row
And,
too,
and
right?
I
He
love
must- should've been- Was he on death row? No, he must have been life. Yeah.
Yeah, it's life, but and to have Bill Curtis, like, the gravity of, let me just say this again, Richard Speck's. Richard
Here's
Speck's.
the part that got me.
Richard Speck has titties, human breasts, that he somehow got in prison. We're going to talk about that tonight,
Here's the
Megan.
one I like. He says, we've seen some disgusting things in the last 4 nights. Yes, you put them on TV.
Yeah. We've seen some disgusting things in the last few days.
But tonight we've got a doozy. If you
A
think
guy-
the last 3 nights were disgusting,
A guy with breast implants doing cocaine and selling his asshole to his fellow jailmates. That's really what happened, Delaney.
you're playing to the balcony now, Jerry.
There's
There
that
goes
back
the
of the room.
numbers.
The back
We're
of the room
moving from the
before.
back of the room up to the balcony. We're moving up.
You're gonna get the raw truth on this thing. When we investigate,
To bring this thing
we're
full
gonna get deep
circle,
and be.
we I don't know if you remember this, Horatio, but we actually did a show with Bill Curtis. We did a Armando, and he did the monologues. I don't know if you remember that.
I don't remember that. I would have
It
been
was like-
over the
venue?
moon. I don't think. Maybe I wasn't there. Is that possible?
Pretty sure
At
he was
IO?
there. It was in Chicago. It was during the IO reunion.
Oh, okay. So yeah, must have.
We
And,
did a show
Yeah, he was.
at a theater, and it was like a bunch of us.
He was
like
the number one anchor
Adam.
in Chicago for years.
He was, yeah. Like Adam, bunch of people that we started out with. I think Ali was there with us. He might have been.
And then he
Was
got
he a
huge with those
criminologist?
murder shows.
This was the beginning of it, right? This was the beginning of him doing those deep dive things, and then he started doing. He got hired to do like deep dive murder mystery. Because this was like a 4-part series.
Yeah.
He kept interviewing him, talking about the murder, how grisly the murders were. And it was supposed to be about the murders, but it ended up being about the prison system. And he had to testify in a trial because he went in there and he was like, "Yeah, they're doing cocaine and shit." When I was trying to interview him.
Wow.
Horatio was found with a bong shoved in his anus. Who would do such a thing?
We've seen
Because
some
they get to the
disgusting
juicy,
things.
they'd get the worst things in the world. They're going to talk about it. They're not going to avoid it.
Mhm.
They'll be like,
No, they're going to gravitate towards
No.
it.
his testicles were removed with a soup can lid.
Come on. Come on, that's not... That turns
I'm
us into
Bill
one of those murdery
Curtis.
podcasts.
I'm
So
Bill
much murder.
Curtis.
The only way Martin Short and Steve Martin could get a hit was by going murderers.
His arm had been
Horatio's
cut off and shoved up his own ass.
After beating all of his pets to death with his own severed arm, he took his life.
The grisly discovery
Or did
was
he?
made.
Or did he?
The 85-year-old who lives next door isn't all she seems to be.
Ligature marks. All I'm gonna say is ligature marks, and Raisin goes crazy.
Defensive wounds.
I like. There's always a Raisin cameo every podcast. He must want something.
You guys, my brother just got here, so I'm gonna have to scattily do.
Tell him we said hello, or I said hello. I don't know.
I will. I'll tell him that you both said hello.
Come on, Jerry. Don't
I
put
love
me on
you.
the spot
Sorry
like
to
that.
my
I
audience.
want to say hello. Yeah, hello.
Carlos, he's peeing right now. I'm just gonna, straight up broadcast this.
Yeah, let's
Not
at least
the
hear
peeing,
it.
but when he comes
at
out.
least hear it. Let's at least hear the pee.
Look, Raj,
Oh,
you
be
got that
quiet.
nice
You get quiet
lighting.
here.
Oh, he wants to get the entrance. Raj, that's nice when you got that lamp behind you for that light and that contrast. See that yellow?
This?
Yeah, a little there. Yeah, there you go. No, too much.
This is
now.
my little.
Too much.
That's my little
Just
lamp,
let
my 30s lamp.
No, now you've blown out. Just a little bit. You want that golden haze. There you are.
Here?
Yeah.
It's close. You gonna cover that entrance?
Yeah, I'll cover the entrance.
Uh-huh. Autofocus. No, it's not
Carlos.
happening. No, he's making a sandwich. We're on tenterhooks.
Oh, I can answer some questions. Joaquin Higuera says I'm going to do Cyber Thug. I don't know, man. That's a character I made up a while ago. Hey, how you doing, man?
Hey.
Jerry and Mike.
Good to see you, bro.
And a few other stragglers on watching
drive?
this little thingy.
Did you drive
How
out?
you doing?
Did you drive out, Carlos?
Yeah.
Oh, he can't hear.
Oh, he can't hear.
Did you
ask
drive
me if he
out?
drove? Did he drive?
Yeah, no traffic, easy peasy.
How long did it take you?
It took me about under 4 hours.
I'm
and
telling the
top speed was not.
Yeah, call the police. It should take
crazy.
5.5 hours.
Yeah, I'm calling Trump right. I'm calling Trump right now.
83 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Average about 80.
They said they're calling Trump to let them know you were speeding. All right.
Hey guys, be good.
Bye.
All
Be
right,
good.
take care.
See you next week.
All right, be good, guys.
All right.
Bye
Raj.
bye.
Jerry, you want to answer some questions and then we'll hop off?
Yeah. So let's see. Somebody was asking me if I'm going to do Cyber Thug again. I don't know. I kind of feel like I'm a little bit too old for that character.
Catch us up on Cyber Thug. What was
Cyber
his
Thug
game?
was a
Where'd it
character
come
that I
from?
did at the beginning of social media. I would go on social media and play this character. Actually, it came from an internet radio show before we had podcasts. And then I started doing them on podcasts when we started calling them podcasts. But I would host this internet radio show as this character, Cyber Thug, who was what he called Cyber Thug. And he would go online, and it was the original troll, I guess. You know, this was 20 years ago, I guess. So in the meantime, I developed a character, gave him his own show. He would talk about things to do with hip hop, with whatever current events, but really reflected, like, I guess for me, what was going to happen, what ended up happening in the social media. So anyway, yeah, and that's another thing
So
too.
he was,
It's like,
he was a prototypal troll character?
Prototype troll, yeah. So yeah, I'm not sure if it would, because there's so many people that are seriously like that. You know, there's so many characters that I made it a character that I don't even know what I would be making fun of. I mean, I would have to like change it because there's people who actually do that now. You know, if that makes any sense. Hijacking studios like Somalian pirates. Yes, that was. Yeah, we would do that. Another thing I would do, I would hijack other people's podcasts. That was a bit.
Oh, that's something Cyber Thug did. This is starting to ring a bell now. This is coming back to me. Something about Cyber Thug.
Yeah,
That's funny. Hijacking other people's podcasts, that's kind of funny.
Yeah, no. Yeah, actually, it might be something that now that the podcast, now that there's a culture with it now, and there wasn't then, it might be something I could make fun of. I don't know.
If if your cyberpunk character hijacked a different podcast each week in real time,
That was the idea. That he would do that. I mean, there weren't enough podcasts where I could do that on a regular basis, but that was the idea that I would like hijack. I actually would hijack Scott. I can't think of anything today. Yeah, maybe the people can help me. But I would. There was a podcast I would regularly hijack. Yeah.
okay, I see.
Yeah.
So I'm late. I'm late to that party. That's already done.
No. I mean, it's now, like you said, now that there's a culture behind it. There weren't a bunch of podcasts to hijack back then, so I did the only one that I could. But now that would be Comedy Bang Bang. Yeah. Now I guess that would be something I could do.
We just didn't have the bandwidth back then for everybody to be putting up that much stuff. It was too much of a pain, and it's much easier now. Anybody can do it.
That's true. Lunar Smoke asked me, he said Tim Heidecker's doing office hours. I would call him. I'm not that good of a friends. I should be better friends with them, but they came to like LA when I was kind of like doing other stuff. I mean, obviously I know them, but never really worked with them.
No, you
So-
never did Tim and Eric stuff?
Never did Tim and Eric stuff. No, I was doing other stuff then. When they were doing the Mayor, whatever the Mayor show was, the animated show. That's when they first came to LA, and I saw a bunch of that, but I was like really busy then, so I didn't do anything. But yeah, I should be friends with them now. Maybe I should call them. Anyway, that's it. Thanks a lot. Thank you, Michael,
Thank you,
for
Jerry.
coming again. I'll see you next week.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, again, the whole podcast, the Back of the Room podcast, will be starting up probably in a couple of weeks. I'll be doing a lot of advertising, so just keep a lookout for that. Keep a lookout for the ads and the videos, and I'll see you next week. Thanks a lot, Michael.
All right. Thank you, Jerry.
And thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Goodbye.